Hi everybody, it's Josh and Elizabeth from Things from Another World, also known as TFAW.com, and we're here for part 2 of 3 of DC's New 52 comic books for the week of September 7th.
Great. We are going to kick things off with the fantastic Animal Man from Jeff Lemire, Travel Foreman, and Dan Green. This is a great book for me because it's got the family element, it's got the horror element, and it's got the superhero element, and all of them are handled really well.
Absolutely. There are a lot of narrative boxes in there, but it doesn't feel cumbersome. They all feel kind of important and well used. I think Jeff Lemire can pretty much write his way out of a paper bag at this point. If there are any haters out there, read this book and you won't be anymore. It's a really good story.
I really like, in many ways, Buddy Baker, who's the main character. His life kind of resembles a lot of actual comic creators that I know. Like, he's got the family life, and he's got the creative pursuits. He kind of has like the patient wife who's like letting him do his own thing, but he's striving for greatness. But the other great part, of course, is Travel Foreman's art, which is creepy in areas. Like, this is definitely a superhero horror book, and I'm really interested to see where it's going to go.
Yeah.
It's box-worthy.
Yep, same here. It's box-worthy. There's so many books getting in my comic book box. I'm going to start off with Batwing #1, possibly my favorite book of the week, even with Detective Comics and Action Comics, all that. They nailed this. Judd Winnick writes a fantastic Batman story. I don't care if you haven't read any other kind of Bat books. This is a Batman story. It's very well told, and the art by Ben Oliver is completely breathtaking. All the panel composition is just incredible. It's a work of art. This is a great issue.
Yeah, I had no expectations of Batwing, and it knocked my socks off. I was really surprised by how much I liked it. So this is box-worthy.
Another one to go into my box, sadly.
And next, Batgirl by Gail Simone and Ardian Syaf. This was possibly one of the books I was looking forward to the most, and I had some really strong reactions. The thing that is kind of most shocking to me is how young both Batgirl and Commissioner Gordon is. Commissioner Gordon is a redhead, and it's kind of funny how like disturbing this is to me. But she's young, she's getting back into superheroing after being paralyzed for 3 years. It's a great, like, dynamic book, but one thing that really struck me is now in this new DC, like, 52, she's younger than Batwoman, which is kind of, it's another red-haired Bat character in a black suit, and now it's almost like visually she's junior Batwoman. So I'm interested to see how their relationship, if they have one, plays out.
A lot of people were upset when they said that Babs was going to be Batgirl again because of her history with Oracle and the Killing Joke and all of that stuff. She's always been a really strong character, but I think Gail Simone absolutely, once again, sports metaphor, it knocks it out of the park completely. She has a great grasp on the character, really loves Barbara Gordon, and it comes through on every page. And they pay really good homage to what the history of her character is. So anybody who was apprehensive picking up this book, yeah, don't let that stop you.
I read somewhere that with Ardian Syaf, he was really trying to go for someone who'd had intense ballet training in writing her or in drawing her, and that really shows. There's a lot of grace and athleticism, and it's just a great, it dives into a story with a cliffhanger that goes in a completely different direction than what you'd expect from Batgirl. So this is box-worthy. It's going in my box.
Yep, same here. It's, yeah, one of my other favorite titles this week. Next I have Hawk and Dove #1. I have no experience whatsoever with this title, but the thing I really liked about it was that there was a good balance of Hawk being kind of the warrior, the avatar of war, and then Dove being the avatar of peace, kind of the pacifist. Their powers kind of move them in those two directions, and it feels just like a good balance, I guess, is all I can say about it as far as that goes. Anybody who's a fan of Rob Liefeld, you're not going to be disappointed with this. Anybody who's not a fan of Rob Liefeld, you know what you're getting into, except they don't have all these pouches on their belts or anything like that, so you might be a little bit happier with that.
And there's some feet. This is another book that made me feel kind of old, because when I saw his art, it made me like nostalgic for the 80s. And of course, I remember when in the 80s, you know, Image and Rob Liefeld were the hot new thing, so it's kind of a reminder of how an era has kind of passed.
Yeah, but it's a fun story, so
yeah.
Definitely, maybe not box worthy. It's probably fence worthy for me.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see where they go with it before I put it in the box. But
yeah, I would say
so
fence worthy. I'll keep looking into it. I'm really intrigued by the relationship between the two characters, and there's a little mystery set up how they got together. Last but certainly not least, we have Swamp Thing with Scott Snyder and Yannick Paquette. This is a phenomenal book. It looks great. Yannick Paquette's art is amazing. The only thing that really struck me is, even though DCU, you know, these are new entry points, it might help to be conversant in some of Swamp Thing's history for it, because they are keeping all of it. And if you know Swamp Thing, you know that he is kind of a tangled, thorny history. So, but they set up the initial kind of mystery about who he is and his connection to Swamp Thing, and I cannot wait to see what happens next.
I think this is a perfect book for new readers as well. I don't think that you particularly have to be in on what's going on. I think it sets up Alec Holland's character really, really well. We know who he is, and I'm excited to see where they go with actual Swamp Thing in the next couple of issues.
Another thing I'm really happy to see is it looks like they're going to be including some of the other Justice League superheroes, such as Superman and Batman. So they're really making an effort to connect Swamp Thing in the whole, you know, new DC 52.
Yep.
So this is another box worthy. Sorry, Wally.
Unfortunately, yeah, this is another box worthy one. There's so many that are so good for so many reasons. So. Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks a lot. There's going to be another video right after this. Just go to YouTube to TFAW videos, or to the blog at tfaw.com/blog.
And there's a coupon after this, so.
That's true. YouTube.
Stay put.
Bye.